We knew that Dandora differentiated itself in scope. More than 1 million people live in and around the fenceless site. History: it was created in the mid-70s and was declared full more than a decade ago, though dumping continues at a rate of 2,000 tons of waste per day. Scale: it covers 30 acres of land. And impact: a 2007 UN Environmental Program study found that 154 of the 328 tested children suffered from respiratory problems directly attributed to the site, confirming high exposures to heavy metal poisoning. But just as these statistics have failed to move Nairobi City Council members and policymakers or international news outlets, who have all neglected the dump site, they did not prepare us for what we found when we finally arrived. Less than 10 minutes from the city's business district, the marginalization we witnessed at Dandora went beyond anything we had seen before. We met Father John Wibutsa, who introduced us to the history of the dump site and who spoke about how it has considerably worn on the spirit of the surrounding slum communities. He told us why the campaign Stop Dumping Death on Us was created and why he thinks it is so important. He shared stories of children who skipped school every day to eat from the back of a dump truck that had just arrived with leftover food from the day's airline flights. He introduced us to the community's main health clinic, where we listened to a tired and frustrated doctor speak to the grave health crisis that Dandora has given not only to the people who work at the site, but those who breathe the smoke that constantly spread across its borders. We also met trash pickers like Rahab Raguru, a mother of 6 who spent the last several years working at Dandora. We spent the day walking around the dump site with her, and then finally visited her home. She spoke of the difficulties working at the site, about losing her newborn child less than a year ago to an infection that she suffered while working at Dandora. She told us about gender inequality at the site and how she is often relegated to only picking piles that have already been picked by men. She shared the concern she has for her children who work with her at Dandora on the weekends, how she worries about the adult language they may pick up from working next to adults, and about how Dandora is wearing on their spirits and ability to succeed in school. Finally, she tells us that despite all her struggles, she fears the day the dump site will leave, saying with conviction that if the dump site moves, she will move with it. We also met Tiger, the 27-year-old cartel leader who provided us with security throughout our stay. He gave us a tour of Dandora and showed us a pool table that he owns in the middle of the site, which is the most popular spot for trash-picking men who pay him for every single game they play. Tiger grew up picking trash at Dandora, and his story, his pool table, provided us with a helpful introduction to the culture and the way of life that had formed at Dandora since the first trash arrived about 40 years ago. These are some of the stories that we have tried to share as widely as possible. We hope that they house both the complexity of the issue and can serve as a warning to other rapidly industrializing cities around the world who share similar waste management problems. But most of all, we hope to have added faces to the story of Dandora, because beyond the frightening statistics are voices that have long been ignored. Above all, we hope to have spurred action among stakeholders in Nairobi and abroad, and we hope that this action will be responsive not only to the gravity of the statistics, but to the needs of both trash pickers like Raguhu and residents like Father Wibutsa.